It's been 6 months since one of Britain's most famous broadcasters, our national treasure, Anne Diamond, who we're so proud to have as part of our family here on GB News, was last seen on TV. And that's because the ex-TVAM host, who was recently awarded an OBE in King Charles's first New Year's honours for her game-changing cot death campaign, has been going through something major in her own life. And the great news is that Anne returns to GB News Breakfast this Saturday, but she joins me first to reveal why she's been off air. And Anne, so good to see you. We have missed you here these past 6 months, and it has been a very difficult few months for you, hasn't it? What's been going on, Anne?
It's been a hell of a journey. Yeah, my last appearance on GB News was on the 1st of January. And I knew then that I would be going away for a while. And I haven't been on a world cruise, which is what I know that social media has been saying. Oh, she's gone on one of her cruises, because I'm well known now for loving cruises. It hasn't been a world cruise. It's been a fight against breast cancer. That's what it's been. It's been a long journey. And 5 months later, I'm still not at the end of the journey, but I'm through it enough to come back to work.
Yes, so you were diagnosed with breast cancer, Anne, on the day that you found out you were being awarded this OBE. So I guess from a real high to probably one of the toughest moments of your life, I imagine.
Absolutely. I mean, it was so extraordinary. I was brought up Roman Catholic. I'm not, by the way. I'm very much a lapsed Catholic. But, you know, a lot of anyone Catholic will understand. But you're sort of taught that if something good happens to you, something bad is going to happen to you to slap you back. And that morning, I got an email from the Cabinet Office saying, congratulations, you are to be awarded OBE for my cot death campaign back in 1991. And I thought, this can't be true. So I looked up a completely independent number. I wasn't going to go for the email number. I looked up a completely independent number for the Cabinet Office, and I rang them and said, is this a scam? Because I couldn't believe it. And this lovely lady said, no, it's not a scam at all. And she read everything through to me, and she confirmed everything to me. She said, we're so proud to be offering you an OBE. You will accept it, won't you? And I said, bloody right, I will. Yes. And it was a wonderful moment. And that was like 9:30 in the morning. But I knew then, because I'd already seen my GP, that I had to go to a breast cancer screening thing later in the morning. And I thought I would just go for a mammogram and, you know, a couple of tests, and I'd be free in an hour. And I spent the entire morning at my local hospital. They did everything: biopsies, x-rays, CT scans, couple of mammograms, everything. And in the end, by lunchtime, I was still there. And a lovely lady with a lanyard around her neck that said, Macmillan Cancer Care. And I knew then that it was serious.
And
it was on the same day.
I mean, wow, it must have been a huge plethora of emotions. And the treatment, Anne, has been tough. I know that. I know you're still going through it. So this has been major. Do you want to talk a little bit about what treatment you have had and how the cancer is now?
Yeah, I'm okay. I don't have any, I don't have any advice for people because I'm still going through it. But I'm well enough to return to work. So yeah, I had the full work, the full mastectomy.
Wow.
God, this is the first time I've talked about it, so it's quite difficult. But I've had the full works. The first operation I had was 9 hours long. I mean, I don't remember it. It was I was in and out like that. But 9 hours of removal and rebuild. And that took a lot of getting over. And then I had a lymphectomy where they take out lymph nodes later as well, just to make sure they can trace the travel, if the cancer has travelled at all, to the rest of the body. Luckily, I don't think they did. And I've had a load of radiotherapy, which I found very hard too. So it's been a journey, but I'm not pretending for a minute that I am extraordinary, because I am fully aware that, a quarter of women in this country are going through what I've just gone through. And I don't have any advice to give. I only have empathy.
And did you find a lump? Did you have a concern, or was it picked up in a routine test?
Right, look, I'm very aware that I'm a 68-year-old woman, and I don't want to talk about my breasts on TV, and nor does anyone watching want to talk about a 68-year-old woman's boobs. But it was the slightest, smallest, tiniest thing. I've always been very breast aware, always looked out for lumps and bumps. This was the smallest thing you can imagine, really, really slight. But I happened to mention it to my best friend, and she was very, very, she said, "Oh God, you've got to get that checked out." And I thought, no, she's being, oversensitive. And then I mentioned it to my sisters as well. And they said, no, you must get it checked, because I think I've read something about that, the smallest, slightest thing. And I mentioned it to my GP, and she said, "Okay, right, before I even look at you, I'm going to refer you to the local breast cancer clinic. And you're not to be worried about this. It's what we do." And within 3 days, I was being seen by the specialist clinic. And as I just said, I stayed there all morning. I had everything thrown at me, and they were amazingly impressive. Wonderful, wonderful people.
Wow.
And yeah, I should have noticed it earlier. I didn't. It was this, I'm not going to go into the detail, but it was the slightest, smallest thing. But it's on the cancer care leaflet. And so anyone watching, just read the cancer care leaflet and you will see it's there.
Well, Anne, we have missed you so much. I'm going to tell you, I have had so many GB News viewers approach me in the street and say, "What's happened to Anne?" And I had some idea of what was going on, obviously wouldn't say anything and would just say, "Anne's going to be back." And it is going to be so brilliant to have you. So from Saturday morning, you're back on Breakfast.
Yes, I am. I'm really pleased to be back. It's great. It's great to be back. I'll be back with Stephen.
Brilliant. Well, look, we cannot wait to have you. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us tonight. And I will be watching Saturday morning from 6 a.m. for the big return. Anne Diamond, TV legend, back on GB News. And you're looking amazing, Anne. So thank you so much. We'll see you Saturday morning.